Da-da-da, bum. Da-da-da, boom. Da-da-da, ba, 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 ba.
Hey, when you hear that music, you know that we're in the best time of year. And that means that we're back. The AWR Recording Boys, we're making our NFL picks. Week 1 is in the books. And it was a hell of a week 1, E. I'm so excited to get into it. But if you're new to the channel, he's the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton. And I'm 007 Gage Sutton. This is the AWR Recording Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button. Make sure y'all are following us on all of our socials before we get into all of this good NFL content. And make sure that you guys are keeping up with all of our channel content because we post NFL content all throughout the season. If you like it and you're an NFL sicko, just like me and Ethan, you should definitely share that with some friends. So thank you, and we appreciate it. E, anything else you want to tell our lovely fans as we get to the beginning of football season?
I'm sorry for the people that me and Gage are about to become. This isn't the real us. This is just a part of us.
Hey, speak for yourself, brother. I am my real self during football season.
Fair enough.
Hey, well, we got a lot of fun football games to talk about, and let's get started with our week 1 games. And we obviously saw some very impressive victories, some very impressive teams. We start with Dak Prescott getting spit on Thursday Night Football. And then the week only went on from there. So, let's talk about some of the games that piqued our interest this week. And I'll let you start, E. Was there a game that you want to talk about or a game that you kind of want to recap from week 1?
Yeah, no, the thing with week 1, as everybody knows, is like it's the home of overreactions. Already we're deciding who's going to make the playoffs, who's not, whose teams are cooked for the year and whose isn't. But I think the game that I really want to showcase is got to be on Monday night. We had the Minnesota Vikings in Chicago to face the new Ben Johnson-led Chicago Bears. And honestly, I think it's good to have a bunch of takeaways from that game. Because going up all throughout this offseason, I think both of these teams, the Bears and the Vikings, were put under a really, really big microscope. On one hand, the Vikings had an incredible regular season last year, going, 14-3, 14-2, but losing in the first round of the playoffs with Sam Darnold. Now they get J.J. McCarthy back after missing out on his rookie year, and they're looking to build on that, more importantly, in the postseason. And for the Chicago Bears, they've got the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop head coaching hire that everybody wanted in Ben Johnson. And he's looking to elevate Caleb Williams and that underachieving Bears team to start reaching towards expectations. And I think we got a little bit of both on this Monday night game. As far as from the Bears' perspective, I think they're going to be kicking themselves. They should have won this game, Gage.
Nah, I'm with you. I thought Chicago was going to pull away and win this game. And obviously we send each other our picks before the game starts. So we both had Minnesota. So we're both sweating watching that game. Like,
absolutely.
Like we just messed up, man. But you got to give props to the Vikings and more importantly, J.J. McCarthy for how he figured things out in the second half, because that first half was brutal, even through that pick 6 in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter just went completely. He turned off whatever was going on in the first half and figured it out and started playing really well and ultimately led the Vikings to the win. So some credit's got to be given there. To me, I think it's too early, and this is what week 1 is all about. We get to take these takes, and E, I'm going to ask you, do you think that a lot of the problems that the Bears had week 1 against Minnesota will continue throughout the year, or do you think it's just because you're going against a very tough defense with the Minnesota Vikings and also a divisional matchup, which, as we know, the NFC North is one of the toughest divisions in football?
I'm going to shoot him some bail and say that going up against a Brian Flores defense is really hard. Like those in the NFL know, right? Those who watch football know that. But at the same time, I was seeing the Bears do the same old Bear stuff. They had about 13, 14 penalties throughout the game, incredibly undisciplined. I saw Caleb, who I thought was going to be the biggest beneficiary to Ben Johnson coming, just miss routine throws. Like out of structure, Caleb is amazing, right? We see the potential out of structure. But when he's forced to play in the pocket and make on-time show throws, you see that his processing is just not there. Right. There's a drive in the fourth quarter when the Vikings were coming back. They were coming back, and the Bears had to go down and score. And he did what? 3 or 4 overthrows back to back to back to back. And you're like, Caleb, they're open. Like you're just missing. I remember one where he missed DJ Moore in like a hole shot down the left-hand side. Then he went and missed an out route to Cole Kmet. Like, bro, he was missing throws, bro. And it's only week 1. But if I'm Bears fans, I'm like, bro, he had this whole offseason with Ben Johnson. We went and got him a Luther Burden who really didn't get no playing time. We went and got in Colston Loveland. And Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, like, it just looked, man. It just looked so, man. I think defensively, you could see that the Vikings kind of figured him out towards the end of the game. But credit where credit is due. They got the pick 6. They had him down. Like, what more could you have asked of that defense throughout the game? If anything, the Bears should have been building on that lead, except instead they kept it too close for comfort. And that's kind of where I'm at with both these teams. I think the Vikings, it's not like I don't want to get too high on them because JJ McCarthy looked like caca for about 3 quarters. Don't get me wrong, he put it together in the 4th, and ultimately that's what mattered because they won the game. But for 3 quarters, he didn't look good. So, but that's my game that I want to focus on. Gage, what about you? I know you got one on the top of your head.
Yeah, and I'm going to take it to the AFC, and let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Jets, because this was already a fun game going into it with the storylines of Aaron Rodgers returning to the Jets and Justin Fields returning to Pittsburgh. But I think this game ended up being more than what we could have thought, because you hear, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers visiting the Jets, who are led by Justin Fields, and you think this game is going to be an atrocity offensively. Like, we are going to see some of the worst football ever. That was not the case. We actually saw 2 very fun quarterback performances from Justin Fields and from Aaron Rodgers. A game that I thought was going to be dominated by defense ended up being a shootout. And I can't tell you how excited I am that Justin Fields actually looks like a quarterback, like a NFL quarterback. And this is what the week 1 overreaction is, but Justin Fields looks legit for the Jets. He looked a lot more comfortable than he ever did at any point last year in Pittsburgh, just in his first week in New York. So I'm really excited about Justin Fields and what we could see from him progressing forward. And then obviously for Aaron Rodgers, at 40 years old, the expectations are pretty high in Pittsburgh, obviously, because, it's the Steelers. But, I think Aaron shut up a lot of haters. There were a lot of people who thought Aaron wasn't going to play very well this season. And I think week 1, very good start for shutting down any kind of, hate he might be receiving. So I don't know how I feel about either one of these teams. Obviously, long term, I don't think either one of them are Super Bowl contenders, but the Jets definitely impressed, being a lot more than I thought they were going to. And Pittsburgh looking like they'll probably win at least 9 games. So par for the course.
Yeah, the Steelers surprised. Well, both teams surprised me a lot. And you said it, the quarterbacks. I didn't think Justin Fields was going to look like this. Probably had the best game of his career. Aaron Rodgers turned back the clock. That looked like Packers Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both of them especially can hold their head up high, especially Garrett Wilson. The connection that Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson had in college, it's safe to say that's going to translate to the NFL. Those 2 were just on the same wavelength.
Hey, shout out Breece Hall, too. Hey, Breece Hall was running through faces in that game, man.
And you can see already the imprint that Aaron Glenn is having on that Jets team. Like, it helps when you have a quarterback that can produce. And this week, Justin Fields did that, even if they didn't win the game. So I think I take away from both things of, like, I guess I'm more impressed with the Jets. I didn't think the Jets could do this high scoring thing. Like with Rodgers, like me being a former Cowboys fan, I know Rodgers always got that in the tank that he could somehow pull that out of his ass. But I didn't think the Jets had it in them to go that far with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not expect very much from the Jets this season, and it is a long season. You know, a lot of things could change, but from what I saw, they look mildly competent, and I
Yes,
know
that's a good way to put it. They look very like not an unserious team that we're used to. Don't get me wrong, they still lost. They probably should have won that game too, but they look very competent.
yeah, a lot more than they have the last couple of years. So that's exciting to watch. Just as a football fan, is two quarterbacks go at it, and I thought that was definitely one of the more fun games of the week. But um, along with our week one conversations, we do our picks at the beginning of the week, and we post them on our story. So if you're not following us on the Our Recording Instagram, make sure you guys are following us. We post all of our picks before the season start or before the week starts. And we posted our week one picks, and surprisingly, we both finished with a 12-4 record this week. And one of the games that we both shared in terms of what we got wrong was we both picked Kansas City over the Chargers.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that game real quick, because I think both of us went with the idea of Kansas City's dominated that division. They've dominated the Chargers, uh, and we believe in Patrick Mahomes. But ultimately, we got to give credit where credit is due. The Chargers went into Brazil and they took care of business, taking down the Chiefs, and Justin Herbert looked legit in that game. And I know, you are one of Justin Herbert's biggest critics, but even you got to admit that the Chargers looked good and dominant in that game.
what if, man, Justin Herbert shut me up that week? He was balling. He was going machine for machine with Mahomes and Andy Reid, and he did what needed to be done in every aspect of the game, missing both tackles, a rookie running back, and still got it done. That's the type of performances when people are like Justin Herbert's top 5. That's more of what I want to see. That's more of what I want to see. So credit where credit is due. The Chargers won that game, and they damn deserve to.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the Chargers season goes. They're well coached, and they do have some talent on that team. Obviously, missing a few pieces. Losing Rashawn Slater for the year sucks. But is there a game that you missed this week that you wish you could have taken back?
Miami and Indianapolis.
Mm.
And more so from the fantasy perspective, I had Tua starting, and I was thinking, Tua in the dome, he might not be at home, but I think he's going to do all right. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
Tua, Tyreek, all them boys were stinky. They were so stinky. And it looks like that Miami, the Mike McDaniels Tua era Miami is coming down very fast, and it looks like it's going to be over with very soon. I don't see either one of them being in place come this time next year. I know that's an overreaction because it's week one, but I think I've seen enough. I think they need to blow it up.
Yeah, the problem with Miami is I just don't think they're going to be able to put together winning football for long periods of time throughout the season. Like, they might pull out a game here and there, but just with how tough the NFL is, I just don't see them having the depth or right now it looks like any kind of cohesion at all to win games. So I'm pretty low on the Dolphins as well. I'll tell you, the one that got me was picking New England over the Raiders. I just should have known. I was buying in on the Drake May hype and the Patriots Mike Vrabel hype too much. I think Vegas looking pretty good though. I'm excited to see what Pete Carroll can do, because that Raiders team looked different.
They look solid, bro.
Yeah,
They look
different.
solid, bro. Like, we didn't see the big explosion from Ashton Genty that we might have thought we saw, but he got the touches and he looked solid. Gino did really, really well that game.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is still looking like one of the best young players in football, not just tight ends players. Pete Carroll has got them looking competent. So, I mean, I feel like they're going to be definitely a middle of the road team this year, definitely better than last year from the looks of it.
Yeah. And a division lead over the Kansas City Chiefs as of week one.
Yeah.
So that's something to monitor, and we will keep an eye on our records and our standings throughout the season. But me and Ethan both start the season at 12-4 after week 1, and I
I gotta
guess
defend my crown. I gotta defend
yeah,
my crown because I smoked your boots last year.
you
Smoked
did,
your
you did.
fucking boots.
That's why I got to keep it close. And
I think last year what screwed you was the beginning of the season. You put yourself in a hole that towards like week 7, week 8, I was just bullshitting with my picks.
yeah. Yeah, the first couple of weeks, I was like, man, give me a lot of these upsets, and it ended up not working
You
out.
kept in the Jets last year, and they was letting you down like crazy.
Jets fucked me. The Jets fucked me so many times last year.
The Jags, the
Oh, the
Jags.
Jags too, for sure. I learned my lesson, I think, though. So I hope so.
I hope so bad.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. And without, I guess, any further introduction, we can get right into our week 2 predictions. And we'll start with the primetime game on Amazon Prime, the Thursday night football game. It is the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field taking on the Washington Commanders. And I want to hear what you got to say about this game before I take my pick.
Y'all play at home, correct?
Yes, in Lambeau, in Green Bay.
Yeah, I think y'all looked incredibly impressive, and y'all's win against Detroit at home. Micah looked like Micah on limited snaps. Jordan Love was able to spread the ball around pretty evenly. I think I saw something within 18 completions. He threw it to 10 different receivers. I mean, you can't get no better than that. Didn't turn the ball over. Had 2 or 3 tutties. You can't get mad at that. You can't get mad at that. That's damn near a perfect game. And Washington, on the other hand, they struggled a little bit with the Giants at home. You could see they were trying to involve Debo a lot more. You could see why they wanted him on their team. But I just don't think Debo and Terry McLaurin are going to be enough weapons to make too big of a difference against this Packers defense. Give me the Packers. Give me the Packers.
I like it, E. I like you picking the Packers because I'm taking the Packers too. Try not to be biased. Obviously, you see me wearing the Packers shirt, and if you watch the channel, you know I'm a diehard Packers fan. But I think it's going to be a heavyweight bout between Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love. They'll be exchanging blows, and I think, like you said, the ultimate change or factor in this game is the Green Bay defense and how different it looks with the addition of Micah Parsons. Yeah, I'm just really excited to see what this defense can do throughout the course of a season, and continues week 2 against the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football. So both of us take Green Bay there. We start our Sunday slate of games with the opening window, the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets.
Even though how impressive the Bills or the Jets were, Josh Allen looks like he's already in peak MVP form for his performance against the Ravens. Give me the Bills. Bills over the Jets.
Yep, I'm taking Buffalo as well. I think, like you said, Josh Allen is about to be on another MVP run, and this will just be a continuation of it. Next, we've got the New England Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. How are we feeling, E?
The Dolphins looked really, really rough against the Colts, but this might be a risky pick. But I'm gonna go with the Dolphins against the Patriots. I just offensively, the Patriots don't move me that much. They were okay against the Raiders and made it a game. They weren't blown out by any stretch of the imagination, and they had pride moments that they probably could have won it. But I just don't see that offense putting up enough points if it were to go to a shootout. And I think at home, Miami's definitely gonna feel the heat a little bit too of Mike McDaniels. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
All right. Well, I stuck with my prediction that Miami was going to be the worst team in the division, and I kind of have to stick with it. I'm going with the Patriots here. I'm going Mike Vrabel taking this team into Hard Rock Stadium and beating a struggling Dolphins team. So we'll go with the Patriots there. Next, we've got the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers. This game is in Arizona.
Arizona versus the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young looked kind of rough last week in his season opener. I think Ted McMillan was, you could see the addition that he's going to bring to that offense and him being the main focal point. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Cardinals at home, I think K1 and James Conner are really going to make a big difference. Afternoon game, I'm going to go Cardinals. I just don't think that run defense for Carolina is good at all. And I think although they are missing their offensive coordinator in Clayton Adams because he went to Dallas, I still think the remnants of that is still going to be there. Give me Arizona over the Panthers.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. Normally, I think last year these are kind of the picks that would come back to bite me because I want to have hope in Carolina. I like Bryce Young. I did not like what I saw last week. And with that logic in mind, I am also going to take the Arizona Cardinals this week. We have another interesting game here. It is the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, the Vikings coming off of that week 1 win against the Bears. But the Falcons losing a heartbreaker to Tampa Bay. Who are we feeling here with the young quarterbacks dueling?
I think Mike Penix looked really, really, really good against Tampa. Just wasn't able to. Defense wasn't able to seal the deal, which my fantasy stud and Emeka Luka balled out in his first game. I think this is gonna be a high scoring affair, but unfortunately, I just don't trust that Atlanta back end. AJ Terrell's a stud. Same thing with Jesse Bates, but I just overall in general that defense really doesn't move me like that. And I think the Vikings. I thought we got a slow day from Justin Jefferson against the Bears, and I think he's gonna make up for it. I'm gonna go with the Vikings.
Whew, all right. Well, yeah, this is a tough one because I think the Vikings defense is always going to be a tough matchup for a young quarterback. But I kind of like what I saw from the Falcons against what people would say is one of the favorites in the NFC in Tampa. So I'll take Atlanta here over Minnesota. I'll say
Okay.
JJ McCarthy struggles in his second game against I guess in conference opponent. I was gonna say maybe one of the tougher teams, but no, I think Atlanta's gonna be scrappy this year. They're definitely not gonna be competing for
Bad
Super
by
Bowl.
any stretch. No, I think they'll be
Yeah.
better than last year a little bit.
Oh yeah,
With
for
Penix
sure.
starting the full year, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, next we have got the LA Rams and the Tennessee Titans. This one's being played in Tennessee. I don't really think that makes a difference. I have a feeling. I think we're both in
We got the
agreement.
same pick.
Yeah,
The
I'm
Rams
taking it.
defense looks tough, and I think Cam Ward showed a lot of bright spots in their game last week against Denver. But again, going up against one of the better defenses in football, I think offensively they're going to struggle, especially like when I don't really love their weapons. Like Pollard was kind of inefficient, really was kind of inefficient, and I don't think they're making a dent in this Rams offense. I really don't. I think it's our Rams defense. Yeah, I think we both got the same pick. We're going Rams, right?
Yeah, taking the Rams. It's hard watching a young quarterback struggle like that, but I mean, you see what the Rams did to CJ Stroud, and I mean, I just have a hard time imagining Cam Ward doing anything uh, more than CJ Stroud. So yeah, I'll take the Rams here. That one's not very tough, but this one is a little more interesting in my eyes. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Jacksonville Jaguars at Cincinnati. How are you leaning on this, E? Because I'm a little conflicted. The Bengals are the reason this scares me.
And I'm not mad at you for it because they looked bad. Joe Burrow, that was one of the worst games I've ever seen him play in the Bengals uniform. And I think the history of the Bengals, the Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor, Jamar Chase Bengals starting the season off poor and slow is continuing. This might be my upset of the week, but I just didn't think they looked good at all against the Browns. I get it's a divisional opponent, but the Browns got nobody on offense, bro. And they was just struggling against him. Jamar Chase was absolutely locked up by Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward talked his talk and backed it up. And I think this is going to be a tough week for them. They are playing at home, which I think they're going to help. But I just think last year picking the Jags honestly kind of fisted me. but I'm gonna give them a shot. I'm gonna give them a shot to break my heart. Give me the upset of the week. I'm gonna go Jags over Bengals. I think Bengals starting off the year. I think there's a time to get them, and this would be a really, really big win for the Jags, especially in this division. If I'm the Jags, I think Jags get it done. That's my upset.
You're a better man than me because I said of this, the Jacksonville screwed me too many times, and I'm not letting them screw me again. So I'm going with the Bengals. As much as it scares me, and as much as I think they suck at the beginning of the season, I think they got to take care of Jacksonville. You got an elite quarterback, an elite wide receiver who had one of his roughest weeks that we've seen from him as a pro. So they got to get back at it and show why this team is even going to have a chance at making a Super Bowl, and it's because of the offense. So I'm expecting a 40-point performance from the Bengals this week.
40 points?
At least. That's all I need. They got to be hungry. They got to be hungry, bro. I need them to go get some points, not just for my fantasy team, but for me to see with my own eyes that they can be a contender. Because if you can't drop 40 on you can't drop 40 on the Jags defense, how are you gonna drop 40 on Buffalo or Baltimore or Kansas City when it matters?
But I get that. I get that. Like this, they need to start like, all right, you got the week one slow game out the way. It's time to lock in.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can get away with scoring 14 points against the Browns or 17 points or whatever they ended up scoring, but that's not going to be good enough later in the season. All right. Speaking of division, we've got a divisional matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. I think we're both leaning Ravens here. Are you right?
Yeah. Yeah. Even though Lamar struggles against the Browns, I just don't see them having enough offense. And I think Baltimore's pissed about the way they lost to the Bills this week because they should have won that game. And it was a choke job. Absolutely was a choke job.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think Baltimore is definitely going to be feeling some emotions after that loss, and they're going to want to take it out on their little brother in Cleveland. So give me Baltimore as well. All right, next, we've got the San Francisco 49ers and the New Orleans Saints. This game is in New Orleans. 49ers without Brock Purdy, without George Kittle, and also still without Brandon Ayuk. Does that change your opinion at all of this?
Absolutely. I think Saints are at home. They're bound to. They're are arguably a bottom three team in football, but they're gonna have to get a win. I'm gonna go with the Saints getting their first win of the season. Might be their only win, but I think the Saints win against the 49ers this week. That's my pick. Might be a little bit of an upset, but I just don't see backup quarterback missing your number one and number two option. Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Remember, I was also doing that thing last year where if there's a backup quarterback, I'm picking them just because you don't know what to expect, right? But I feel like I shouldn't pick the Niners. I should really just go with UE and take the
But you're gonna pick the
Saints.
Niners. But you're gonna pick the
I'm gonna
Niners.
take
But you're
the
gonna pick
Niners.
them.
I'm gonna take the Niners. And uh, I don't know. There's something about the backup quarterback situation, and like, who is their backup quarterback?
That's a very good question. It's not Sam Darnold. I think is. Let's see. Mac
He's got
Jones. It's not a terrible option.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's like Mac Jones or Spencer Rattler. I'm okay with putting my bets on Mac Jones. So yeah, I'll take San Francisco here.
Bet that.
All right.
My
Next.
every other year Niners theory is not looking good to start off.
Yeah, bro, they are banged up, and that's the other thing that scares me about picking them. But I just think they're still a better team than the Saints. All right. Well, next we'll move on to a NFC East matchup, and it's the New York Giants visiting Jerry World and the Dallas Cowboys, your former favorite team. Are you taking your former favorite team here?
I am. Dak has not lost to the Giants since his rookie year, and I don't expect the Russell Wilson led Giants to change my mind. Malik Neighbors look absolutely fed up. They're playing the Cowboys at home. The Cowboys are going to be missing DeRon Bland, so they're going to be kind of light on the back end. But I'm not really worried about the Giants, to be quite honest. I think the Giants will make it interesting to start out with, but I think the Cowboys kind of look better than I think we all thought they were. We all thought that they'd be lower, middle tier of the pack, pushing top 10 pick, and I don't think that's the case. Dak looks sharp against the Eagles. If he had a couple drops go his way between him, CD, and Jake Ferguson, like I think they win. I think they're gonna win. Or I think they would have won the Philly game, but I'm saying this game, they're winning for sure.
Yeah, I like Dallas here too. The Giants looked rough last week, and like you said about the Cowboys, they're definitely better than people are giving them credit for. So yeah, I'll take Dallas here. All right, next, another divisional matchup. The NFC North is the Chicago Bears visiting the Detroit Lions. Where are we looking here, E?
Ben Johnson return game. I think both teams look rough. I think the Lions especially looked rough. Just all around the park, offensively too. I think they're playing at home though, and I think that's going to help them a lot. I'm going to go with the Lions.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit here too. I think they definitely need to bounce back after getting their butts kicked last week. So, yeah, this was pretty easy for me, Detroit.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears won. I think it'd be a really big win for them to start the season by splitting with them, the Lions.
For sure. And I mean, that would be horrible for the Lions, for the division favorites, basically, to start 0-2 in the division. Not the way they would envision starting the season, but we'll see what happens. And next, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks in Pittsburgh. How are we feeling, Ian?
I think Seattle looked rough in their week one. I think they probably should have won that game against the Niners if Tariq Woolen would have locked in on that last play. This is a hard one because we're going to see the same Steelers that we saw last week, especially Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I think at home plays a big part, and I think I'm going to go Steelers. I think they won't have to do a lot. I'm really worried about that offense with Sam Darnold. I really am.
Yeah, against the Steelers defense that is going to get after you. And as you saw last week, they are very physical, even in the secondary. So I'll take Pittsburgh at home as well. And next, we'll move on to Denver versus Indianapolis in Lucas Oil Stadium. This is a tough one, too, because the Colts get a big win last week. Daniel Jones looks – we've been using the word competent. I think that's fair. I think that's what we can call that performance. But the Broncos, I think they definitely came out of the gates a little sluggish on offense. Defensively looked great. But where are we looking at for this game?
I think Daniel Jones looked like the second coming of Peyton Manning against that game, against the Dolphins. He looked crazy. That was one of the best Daniel Jones games I've ever seen in my life. I think the Broncos offensively, Bo Nix didn't look that great. And they were playing at home. The Titans aren't that good. I think the Colts are a really well-coached team. Defensively, too, I think they're very underrated. With Zaire Franklin. Oh, I think I'm leaning Broncos. I'm not Broncos. I think I'm leaning Colts. I think I'm going to go Colts. Go Colts.
All right. Ah, man. I think I'll go against you on this one, and I'll take Denver. I think the Colts. Yeah, I think the Colts are well coached, but call me the Daniel Jones non-believer because I'm still not buying it. And I feel really good about Denver's defense. I think they'll give Danny Derps his Derps moments again. So give me the Broncos. And, of course, now we get to our Super Bowl rematch. It is the Philadelphia Eagles visiting the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Who are you taking?
The last two times they've seen face, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Eagles won both of them. I don't love the Chiefs' chances, man. They are at my home in Arrowhead, but that defense looked really, really bad against the Chargers, man. They weren't able to take pressure with 4 at all. Chris Jones was not. I know he was hurt a little bit, but they weren't able to get no pressure with George Karlaftis or Nick Bolton or any of them boys. And they were just getting torched by Justin Herbert. And I think this is going to be a big game week for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Jalen Carter did not get suspended this game, so I don't know if the Chiefs are going to be as lucky, especially because they're going to be missing Xavier Worthy. My heart says Chiefs, but my head says Eagles. But I can never root for the Philadelphia Eagles, so let's go Kansas City Chiefs, man. It's a free win for the week. I really should go Eagles. Eagles are going to win this game. Eagles are going to win this game.
Thank you. I'm taking the Eagles. I think you gave all of the perfect reasons why I should be taking the Eagles here. But just to add one more, Kansas City is like, don't get me wrong, they will always have the benefit of the doubt with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, but the rest of that team, man, is just rough. Like you said, the defense just non-existent against the Chargers, and Patrick Mahomes is throwing to who now besides Travis Kelce? Like, no Worthy. He's still throwing to Juju Smith-Schuster. Is it 2018? I don't know. But I'll take Philly. Alrighty. Well, I think we're down to our last 2 games. They're the Monday night games. It's our 6 o'clock kickoff. Tampa Bay Buccaneers visiting the Houston Texans. Who do you like?
I'm going to go Texans.
All right. You like Houston?
Yeah.
I like Tampa. I normally would pick the Texans. I'm a Texans fan. But that offensive line, we talked about how good the Rams defense looks, but Houston at the same time did not look very good offensively. They had no protection for CJ Stroud. He was ground turkey back there.
Nah, yeah, he did not look good. To be fair, though, that Rams defense is very good. And that's how I feel about the Texans defense. I think the Texans defense is really, really, really good. I think Tampa, they go through upswings and downswings. I think Texans at home, I think they'll get this done.
All right. And last but not least, we've got the LA Chargers visiting the Las Vegas Raiders. This one's a 9 o'clock kickoff on Monday night. You like the Raiders or the Chargers?
I'm going to go Raiders. I think that Chargers O-line, I wouldn't say they got lucky against the Chiefs because the Chiefs, bless you, the Chiefs defense is not that good this year. To start off, they're not that good. I think Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins are really going to make. Well, Christian Wilkins is not on the team anymore, but Max Crosby is really going to make a difference, especially missing those 2 left tackle and right tackle starting. I'm gonna go Raiders. Gino too. They look competent. Genty too. I'm gonna go Raiders.
I'm gonna take the Chargers here, and not because I don't like the Raiders. I think the Raiders look good, very improved, but I think the Chargers are just very well coached, and not that the Raiders aren't, but there's just levels to it, and I feel like the Chargers are just a little bit ahead of the Raiders. So give me the Chargers taking a win in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. But that's going to do it for our Week 2 predictions and our Week 1 recap. Anything you want to say before we get into these Week 2 games?
That enjoy it while it lasts, man. Everybody's team's got a little bit of hope this season. So just enjoy it, because in part 2 weeks, a lot of our teams there's no more. We're gonna be starting looking at draft picks and draft rankings. So enjoy it while it lasts.
And some of you may already be doing that if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, mostly. But sorry, that was a stray. My bad. But that's what you come here to expect at the AWR Recording Podcast. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you follow us on all of our socials. They're going to be linked down below in the description. And for the young Rottweiler, Ethan Hamilton, I'm 007 Gage Sutton. Thank y'all so much for joining us for another NFL week predictions, picks. Thank y'all. We will see y'all next time.